So whether this is your first Monday Moves or your 100th or more, because we have done them for 2.5 years, the focus here, guys, is always to present a topic, a mindset topic that's going to help you to move through your week and create the life that you love, dance through life. That's always my mission. It's how I do life, and I love living every day. And I feel like I always have ample amount of energy. And that's what I see most people struggle with is energy. Like they don't have the energy to show up in their life. And that leads me into today's topic, talking about focused energy and effort versus just going through the motions. So last week, I did a very impromptu Facebook Live on my personal page. I want to say that was Thursday evening. I don't hold me to it, but sometime last week. And what brought that live about was earlier that morning, I was doing homeschool with my youngest, and she was writing her letters in her workbook, and she was doing a good job, but she wasn't applying all the corrections from the last couple of weeks. So for example, when they're little and they're 5 and they're learning how to write, it's making sure that the B's go the right way and the D's go the right way and figuring out the letters, but it's also making sure that when we're writing more than one word, we have spaces in between. So we have one word and a little space, and then another word. So we don't just have a string of letters. All these kinds of tools when we're homeschooling and teaching our kids how to read and write and all that. But she was getting one thing and not the other. And then she was getting another thing and then not that. And so I was like, okay, hang on. I'm going to give you a sticker for every time the handwriting looks really good and we have space and we stay on the line. We're not floating above the little dash line and falling below, all these things. And I just shared that, man, the minute those stickers came out, it was like, oh, I'll do anything. And I already know how to do it. I just wasn't doing it because I didn't want to. And we all have kids. All of us that have kids understand that, right? I'll do it when I want to. And it reminded me of having a reward that works for us, that fuels us to do more, to put in the right amount of effort to get the job done at a level that actually serves us, right? Not just going through the motions. And I want to take that little share and take it a little bit further, because focused effort is what creates momentum. If we just go through the motion, we're actually maintaining status quo. So a perfect example of this is in jazz class. When I'm teaching a jazz class, always, I start with isolations for a warm up. So isolations, shoulders down, and we're just looking right and left. You're just isolating your head. You're just moving your head only. Nothing else is wiggling. But there are always kids in a class, doesn't matter if they're younger or all the way through seniors in high school, that will come in and just kind of jump into the motion. Big difference between doing this and even like going all the way through versus shoulders down, core engaged, lifting up on my quads, strong energy through my fingertips, and then really looking at one specific spot. These are details, right? It's where's the effort? Where's the focus? Where's the energy? That stuff is what creates the momentum that we all desire. We all want improvement. We all want to increase in life. That's a spiritual law of increase. And we all want that. But many of us throughout the day go through the motions because we have to get these things done, of which are creating either bad habits, right? A lack of gratitude in the experience itself, and keeping you exactly where you are, keeping you at status quo. So when I talk about focused effort, it was sparked from the stickers last week with Arcadia, but I want you to remember that whether this is dance or a workout or just a daily thing that you have to do, it always creates a ripple in your day when you do something with intentionality. For example, how many of us have written a note like a shopping list, right? We write our shopping list. I know I do this. My husband does this. And I'm like, what does that say? He's like, don't forget X, Y, Z. I'm like, I don't even know what X, Y, and Z are. I can't read them. The effort in his writing is like bare none. And the ripple effect is I have no idea what those things are. And now I have to, one, spend more time to clarify, or two, try to guess and probably get it wrong. Like these are little tiny silly examples. But if you just spend a little bit more time writing, there's clarity. When there's clarity, there's peace, right? There's better communication. That's one example. Again, please use this however it works. But it's doing things with intentionality. That's what focused effort is. So the dance studio setting, again, the isolations, it's that way in all warm-ups for all sports or all activities, right? I watch my son play soccer and I watch these kids warm up and I'm like, they say walking lunges and they're barely moving, or when they are moving, some of them have like really bad form. And it's like how you do one thing is how you do everything. So when we slow down enough to create enough space in our calendar for us to intentionally do everything that we would like versus scattered here and there and here and there, that changes your life. It changes your energy level. It allows you to say no to things that aren't aligned. And it allows you to say easy yeses to things that you're like, yes, I want more of that. I need more of that. I crave more of that. So this becomes, again, that ripple effect of where your energy is when it has more effort into it. And so this is that intention. It's that alive and aligned for some of us that'll be joining in for that today, but it's also bringing into the moment that matters the most, bringing you into the moment that matters the most, right? It's bringing you present. You can't be everywhere at one time. You just can't. And if you try to be, you're absolutely dropping the ball somewhere, whether that be for yourself or for someone else. So when you are moving through this week, I want you to remember this: focused effort or move with intentionality, whatever words resonate most with you, it's the same thing. And I want you to think about how much effort you are putting into things. Another really simple example that we all experience, you guys: dishes. Super simple example. I just thought about this because I just noticed this. Actually, was it this morning or last night? I like to wash dishes by hand if I have time to do it. I actually prefer it that way because then it's like, it's clean. I can put it, I can dry it, I can go right away. Like I don't have to wait to load up the dishwasher. It's efficient to me. So I was washing dishes, but I was in a hurry because the effort was being rushed. And I was also trying to make space for some other stuff. And I noticed after I got the silverware done and I probably just the last bit, there was soap on my hands when I put them in the drainer. And then I look over and I was like, there's soap on 4 of those forks. And I was watching it drip. And it reminded me of my mom, actually, because she used to do that when I was a kid. I used to watch her wash dishes and be like, I think I'm going to go wash that one again. Have anybody ever watched their grandmother or their great grandmother or somebody like, that you love so dearly and they're like masters in the kitchen, and then you watch them and you're like, oh, it was one of those moments I remember watching. And it was that reminder of like the effort to wash the dishes was there, but then the effort to rinse it was not. Like, it was just like, oh, so close. And I did that, whether that was this morning or last night, I can't remember. And it was a reminder to slow down. I was like, I looked at the soap dripping down the forks, and I was just like, slow down. And I took them out and I rinsed them. And by doing that little notice, that little tiny part of our dance framework, the notice, I remembered to slow down. And when I remembered to slow down, guess what that invited in? Gratitude. Because as I was rinsing the forks, it was actually this morning. I remember now. I was like, where was this? It was this morning. As I was rinsing the forks and I slowed down, I was grateful. Like, I was consumed by this overwhelming gratitude for running water. Because Liz, who is in our community here, had sent me a beautiful voice memo. She just got finished with our Come Alive coaching circle, and she's venturing into our next beautiful, beautiful collective space with us. And she sent me this incredible voice memo, and I had listened to it this morning before I was doing dishes. And it was talking about all the things she was grateful for. And it reminded me, she said, running water. And I was like, running water as I'm rinsing these again, slower. It just brought me here. It brought me right into the moment. And that is something always worth celebrating, being pulled back into the moment. So it just reminded me of that. So I would love to invite you guys, like envisioning the soap on the fork for me this morning and seeing that. And then it reminded me of my grandmother and my mom. And then I was like, slow down, Ashley. But it brought so much love to my being. I felt so much love and so much gratitude for the reminder of the beautiful women in my family, my grandmother and my mother, but also Liz, who sent me this message of gratitude, and for the running water. So sometimes effort can look like that. Focused effort can look like that. Just this, like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And it can ground you. And then other times it can look like just putting in a little bit more effort, a little bit more energy so that we can have a better outcome, like Arcadia stickers. Right. So her handwriting was beautiful. And it even rivaled my 9-year-old's handwriting. I even called Arbor over and I was like, Arbor, look at what your sister wrote. And she was like, okay. Yeah, that's nice. She didn't write that. And I was like, she did. And that creates a ripple of do better for everyone around you. Right. So now Arbor couldn't slack off because she's like, oh my gosh, my 5-year-old sister has better handwriting than me. I better step it up. So, two areas that I want to focus on this week. One, focused energy over going through the motion. Okay. That's the topic, that's the theme. But two ways to look at that. So, are we doing more effort in the things that we're doing so that we can actually move the needle towards the direction that we want so that we're not just status quo, that we're actually creating momentum? Okay. Or are we needing to do this so that we can focus the energy and the effort so that we can actually be more in the moment, more aligned? Those are the two ways that they both worked for me in two different areas over the past less than a week. So I wanted to share them both with you guys. This stuff can go in any area of your life, personal, fitness, relationships. That is my message for today. And I hope it lands somewhere with you guys. Again, these topics are always meant to give you a short topic that you can simmer on and you can bring into however that works for you. If this resonates and if this is helping you to kind of think about something that maybe you yourself or maybe your children or maybe even your spouse could benefit from, I want to invite you into the Love Yourself event next week. It's a free event. It's 3 days. We're going to do 3 days. We'll do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The 2 p.m. Eastern. I'll send another email very soon. But that event is about loving yourself enough that you see the worth, the value, and the respect for yourself, the discipline for yourself in something as simple as this. Effort is discipline, right? Being disciplined to say, okay, I'm going to give it my all. I'm not just going to go through the motion and just handwrite all the letters in one long sentence. I'm going to effort. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to put some space, right? That is discipline. That's self-love. That's being proud of your work. The Love Yourself event is finding value in you and loving yourself so much that you don't allow yourself anything less than 100% effort. And then that ripple, because you bring all of you present, you slow down and you do things completely and you finish what you say you're going to do. And you hold yourself accountable before you ever hold anybody else accountable. You have to hold yourself accountable. That's the kind of stuff that we're going to tap into at the Love Yourself event. So it's 3 days. It's free. And you guys can join. You can save your free spot. No one is automatically registered. You do have to register for it. So that way you'll be part of the reminders and everything, and you'll get all the goodies. We will do a free gift again. We did a gift prizes last time. We will do prizes again. So it definitely pays to show up and participate. But you guys, that's just a free event. It's separate from Monday Moves. We'll be live for Monday Moves again. And remember, effort, focused effort versus just going through the motions. All right, everybody, I hope this was helpful. Remember, effort creates the ripple. It actually keeps you from status quo. Just going through the motions does not help you. Yes, you got the laundry done. Yes, you got this done. Yes, you got this done. Yes, you got this done, this done, this done. But you're a shell of the human being by the end of the night. You're exhausted. I want everybody to go through the motions of whatever you want in your life because you've created your life intentionally. And when you go to bed at night, you are still filled with energy. And when you wake up the next morning, you are ready to go no matter how much sleep you had. That's where I operate from. And that's what I want for everybody. And I will see everybody next Monday. Bye.